I'm gonna preface this video by saying that I'm a retro Yu-Gi-Oh enthusiast. I love GOAT, I regularly play Edison, and I'm always experimenting with emerging retro formats. Also, I want to make it clear that Edison is by no means perfect. Deck Devi, Black Whirlwind, and Trap Dust Shoot are all issues, and I cry every time they resolve. It's just like getting Trinitied in GOAT, yet we still find GOAT fun after 15 plus years of this. Sometimes we get sacked, but that's Yu-Gi-Oh! If you're unfamiliar with Tengu Plant, it follows the March 2011 ban list. So in terms of power level, it's fairly similar to Edison, just slightly faster, and has some notable and iconic Xyz monsters in it as well. I think Tengu Plant is a great format, and has the balance of Synchro and Xyz that I really wish Edison had. I love the concept of Synchro being the pool of boss monsters, and Xyz being a toolbox of useful effects. Tengu Plant also has Solemn Warning, which adds counterplay, and also has Pot of Duality, which adds consistency to rogue decks. This is also when modern hand traps started to get printed. We have Effect Veiler, and everyone's least favorite card, Max C.
Oh, what was I worried about?
So as far as gameplay is concerned, I think that it's a cool format, and I wish it got more representation. In fact, I might even cover Tengu Plant on this channel at some point. However, recently, TCG Rewind, the main Yu-Gi tuber promoting the format, posted a video titled "Stop Playing Edison Format, Play Any Format Instead." Before we go any further, I want to say that I'm by no means encouraging any of you to hate on TCG Rewind. Keep your comments civil and constructive. So he's made a few videos hating on Edison, but this one in particular really riled up the retro Yu-Gi-Oh community. Lil Man Yu-Gi-Oh beat me to a response and made a great video covering some of his thoughts, so make sure to check it out after this. But TCG Rewind starts off by claiming that marketing is the major reason that Edison is popular.
When it comes to retro formats, we only see or hear about the formats that are popular. This popularity stems from marketing, and no format in Yu-Gi-Oh's history has seen more marketing than
Edison!
He mentions that Keegan at E3 was friends with Simo, and that the Edison boom was caused by the history of Yu-Gi-Oh series. He pointed out that Simo and MBT probably didn't do research into the best formats, and instead hyped up the format that their friend, Keegan, was playing.
Both Simo and MBT are massive creators and realistically wouldn't have the time to commit to actively participating in retro communities to have an informed opinion.
Now here's my 2 cents. So what? Why does it matter if E3's presence on YouTube was boosted by Simo? Why does it matter that Edison got more coverage in that series? At the end of the day, there's a common consensus that people want to play a slower, more balanced Yu-Gi-Oh format. As Lil Man put it in his video, people will play what's available to them. Edison is a slower format that has a lot of deck diversity, and the community loves it, including myself. It's not perfect, but it's fun. TCG Rewind tries to claim that all of you retro enthusiasts are sheeple, and don't use your brain when you try to get into older formats, and instead, after playing the popular Edison format, you will instantly convert to an Edison purist and write it without any critical thought. He really said this, play the clip.
With Edison being as marketed as it is, it's far and away the most popular format. This means, logically speaking, any average player aspiring to play retro Yu-Gi-Oh is going to start with Edison. Everyone around them is going to be playing Edison, so their retro exploration is likely going to end there. Everyone is playing it, therefore it must be the best, right? Which means these players are then going to be converted to being Edison enthusiasts. At its core, Edison is acceptable. It's a fine format. It meets the bare minimum. So people will find it acceptable, socially recognize people aren't playing anything else, and continue to remain on this bandwagon.
I don't know about all of you, but I definitely don't accept the bare minimum. In fact, I started this video by saying that I'm always on the lookout for emerging retro formats. I'd argue that a lot of you are like me and want to play a slower, balanced, and diverse Yu-Gi-Oh format. I'd also argue that a lot of you are pretty smart and do your research. That's how you learned about retro Yu-Gi-Oh in the first place. The truth is, we're a very niche set of players. Most people are playing Master Duel, Duel Links, the TCG, the OCG. There's a really small pool of retro players, so if you're one of them, you're already doing research into formats that differ from the mainstream. A retro format doesn't need to be objectively the best to take off. It just needs to be fun, diverse, relatively balanced, and have community backing. I'm proud of Keegan at E3 and the Edison community for making retro Yu-Gi-Oh more mainstream. You can go to most local card shops now and they'll have support for Edison format. I'm not sure why TCG Rewind complains so much about this. He argues that the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Was each format shot to make it big, and that Edison unfairly got the spotlight because of personal relations, not hard data and research.
Edison's boom was not a result of people actively researching historical formats and picking the best one, but I can confidently tell you that that was my process.
The reason why I'm confused is because I believe that Edison's popularity is the biggest win that Retro Yu-Gi-Oh! Has ever had. And I don't just mean Edison, I mean all of Retro Yu-Gi-Oh! The fact that it's becoming more popular means that there's a growing number of people that are passionate about Time Wizard formats and are the perfect demographic of people to market an emerging format to.
Marketing.
Edison is by no means perfect. I've said this before, and we've seen formats come and go. GOAT used to be the dominant format a couple years ago, and now Edison has taken the spotlight. Eventually the community will want to branch off, and maybe Tengu Plant or Hat format become more relevant in the future. I still love and play GOAT format, but the reality is Edison is the booming format right now. That won't always be the case, but at least I know I will be playing those two formats with my friends and family for the rest of my life. Tengu has the chance to do this too. TCG Rewind is just digging its grave before it has its time to shine. It really seems like the community has no issues with Tengu Plant as a format, and instead have issues with TCG Rewind constantly bashing Edison to try to convince people to play Tengu. Let's look at some of the community feedback. Ironically, this was a promotional video for Edison. That is crazy. No matter how many times you make videos like this, it always comes off the same way. The tone is just incredibly desperate at best and extremely bitter at worst. The origin behind Edison heating up isn't relevant. It's picked up organic, sustained community and has been going strong for nearly half a decade at this point for a reason. It feels like such a conspiracy theory that Keegan talked to some big content creators and got them to mention Edison, and that's the reason people are playing Edison format like sheep. I think a lot of us did try other formats and are willing to play them too, but Edison's pacing and power level is actually really nice. As I mentioned earlier, Lil Man Yugioh made a great response video. But after that, TCG Rewind brought him onto his channel and they talked through some of their disagreements. But the real nail in the coffin was when the Macros Show, a YouTuber with nearly 1.4 million subscribers, known in the community for being a major retro Yu-Gi-Oh enthusiast, commented this: "I think there's a way you could have sold people on Tengu without only trying to paint Edison in a negative light." So the entire video comes off weirdly negative and kind of off-putting. I think that was a wake-up call for TCG Rewind, because since that comment, he has unlisted his video bashing Edison. I thought I would document what actually happened here, because I think TCG Rewind's video on Tengu Plant has left a bad taste in people's mouths about the format. My main point for this video is that Tengu Plant is a great format, and the reason it's not seeing success is because we don't have anyone in the community promoting and marketing it effectively. Just because TCG Rewind is constantly bashing Edison, that doesn't mean that Tengu Plant is bad. It just means his approach to get you to play it is. I hope this is truly a wake-up call and we can get more people on board to play Tengu Plant without feeling the need to bash Edison. We're all retro Yu-Gi-Oh enthusiasts, so let's work together to keep this community healthy and booming. I mean, Konami isn't helping us very much. They tried giving us Speed Duel and that failed horribly. Click the video here to learn more about that. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the first link in the description or shopping on TCG Player with my affiliate link. In 2025, I want to be more consistent with my uploads and get these videos out at least once a week. Lastly, I hope you're having a fantastic day and I will catch you in the next one.